All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So hello everyone, my name is Alex. I'm one of the social work interns at Community Partnership on Aging. So in regards to my experience with technology, I don't know if any of you have joined, but last year another social work student and I presented the Smartphone Basics and Advanced course. So we will be covering the smart device fundamentals. And this is for the Apple section. So if you are looking for the Android section, that will be at 2 p.m. later today. And I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right, so like I said, this is the smart device fundamentals, and this is the Apple and iPad section. And week one, we're going to go over basic interface. So to get started, I just wanted to go over the agenda pretty briefly. We will be going over the button functions on your phone, touch screen gestures, the home screen control center, and battery and charging. Does anybody have any questions about the agenda? Okay. So to begin, we are going to talk about button functions. Your phone has a million different buttons on it, and I know it can be a little bit confusing. So depending on the iPhone that you have, your home screen will look, or your home button rather, will look a little different. So I have a newer iPhone here, and my home button is this bar, and I can lift up or pull down my screen that way. Now, from this picture, we have an iPhone that has a home button in the bottom center of our screen. These are one of the older iPhones, but I do want to point out that they are the same function. They have just updated as the newer phones have come out. And then of course there is a power button as well. The power button on the iPhone is located on the right side, the very side of our phone here. And the older functions have the power button at the top. So it would be right up here. I do see we have a question in the chat. Is this for phones only or for iPads as well? This is a very good question. So the button functions will be the same on your iPad and your iPhone. So let me go ahead and grab my iPad. So this is what the iPad will look like versus the phone. So on the side, we have our power button at the top this time rather than the side. But the home button is still at the bottom, and it functions quite the same. And then we have our camera lens. So your phone, depending on what you have, has at least 2 camera lenses. It could be 3 if you have the newer phones. On the back, I have 2 here. And then on the front, I have 1 here, which is pointing to the number 2 in the image on the PowerPoint. On your iPad, it will just be this one camera lens, or it will be the front-facing camera lens in the center of your screen. So that way you can take photos looking directly at your device, or you can take photos holding up your device and taking photos of your surroundings or videos. Next is our microphone and our speaker. So our microphone is located at the bottom of our devices, as well as our speakers. So our speakers are right here, and they are at the bottom of our phone. And I see we have another question. Oh, not a question. And then we have the volume keys. So the volume keys are located on the side of your phone, so not to be confused with the power key, which is here, but they are on the other side of your phone here. And the top button is to make the volume go up, and the bottom button is to make your volume go down. And that is the same on our iPad. As you can see, we have, whoop, I'm holding it upside down. We have 2 buttons here, and the top one will make your volume go up, and the bottom one will make it go down. And lastly, we have the assistant button. So your assistant button is located, is actually your power button. So if you click your power button twice, Siri will appear. Now it's not appearing on my phone. But once you set it up, you won't have to use the assistant button anymore. Instead, you can just ask your phone, "Hey Siri." And Siri will be at the bottom of your screen, and she'll ask, did you have a question? And then she will kind of give you the answer that way. And we'll go over assistance a little bit more in the future. This is just to show you that, your phone has the button, and then we'll kind of go more in depth later on as the course progresses. Now, does anybody have any questions about button functions, or is there a button in particular that you wanted to show me and ask about? No? Okay. So next is your home screen. So like I said, depending on your type of device, there will be a different mode that you'll have to go through to get to the home page. So either you will have the button that is like the top image, or you will have the bar that I showed you here. So it'll either be the bar or the button. And then when you get to your home page, you're going to notice that they have a lot of different pages as you scroll, right? So there's like a main page, and then as you continue to scroll, there are other pages with your apps. Now your home screen is the one that typically includes your most frequently used apps, but it can also just be blank if you wanted to have it blank and just have like the time and the date or just some general information. You can edit your screen, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next week, I believe, of how to change where the apps are and how they're presented on your phone. So to return to the home screen, you can either double click the home button if you have the button instead of the bar, or you would slide the home bar up towards the top of your screen. And I can show you what that looks like. So here I have the bar, and then if I just lift up, it takes me to my home screen. Does anybody have questions about how to get to your home screen or having multiple screens? Is there any sort of confusion about that? Okay. Oh, wait, hold on, I see. Art, did you have a question? You have to, Art, is your mic unmuted?
There. On the bottom of the screen, on mine, there are four apps actually that are locked in place.
Yeah.
So that when you screen, they're always there, even though the apps change. What do you call that area? Is there a specific name for that area?
I don't believe there is a specific name for that area, but you can edit that area. So did you want to learn how to switch out the apps that are on the bottom?
Well, I think it would be interesting for people to know that they can, yeah, because
yeah,
I do it now and then. I forgot how, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll go over this again, but I wanted to answer your question. If you ever wanted to edit your screen, you can press and hold an app, and then it kind of starts doing this wiggly dance. Yeah, and then you can press and hold the app and kind of move it wherever you want, or you can press and hold another app and drag it down to the bottom. Did that answer your question, Art?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, great. So did anybody else have another question? Okay, we're gonna move on. So gestures and touchscreen are super important, and they kind of go hand in hand. And it can be a little confusing about when to use what gesture. So we have tap, and tap is usually used for clicking on or selecting an app or a text box. So if you wanted to send a text message and there was a box and you didn't have your keyboard up, it wasn't showing yet, you would have to tap the box and then your keyboard would appear and you would be able to type. And then you also have double tap. Double tap is especially useful for zooming in and out of pictures, right? So if you wanted to look a little bit closer into a picture, you can double tap it and it will automatically zoom in a little bit further. Now we also have drag, and drag is usually used for swiping to the next screen or swiping over. I think that a better word for this would be swipe, but it is called drag. And then we have flicking, and flicking is good. Oops, I am so sorry about that. Flicking is good for quickly swiping away an app, and we'll get into background running apps later. But your phone typically runs apps in the background. Anything that you have clicked on and then you hit the home screen and you opened up another app, they're still running in your background. And to kind of put them to sleep or close those background running apps, you would want to flick them away. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Pinching, again, is used for zooming in and out. Typically, so you can double tap and it will zoom in a little bit, and you can continue to double tap and it'll zoom in closer and closer and closer. But if you're really in a rush and you just want to quickly zoom in on this very specific location on a photo, you can pinch and drag out or drag in to kind of get further away from the photo. So instead of zooming in, you would be zooming out. The same thing goes for spread. So that would be zooming out. So spreading would be zooming out, and then pinching would be zooming in. Or no, I'm sorry. Pinching is zooming in, spreading is zooming out. And then pressing. So like Art asked, there are some circumstances where you would need to press and hold an icon. So if you wanted to edit your home screen, or if you wanted to delete an app, you're going to be pressing and holding on that app until you get the wiggly dance, and then you'll see like a little minus in the corner, and that way you can delete the app. Does anybody have any questions about touchscreen gestures and when to use them? Okay, so we're going to move on. So next we have the control center. Now the control center is your best friend, honestly. It has all of your settings information, just the basic settings information, I should say, right there at your control center. So to access your control center, you're going to swipe from the very, very top of your screen all the way down to the bottom of your screen. And in some cases, like mine, just pulling down from the top of the screen, you might just get your notifications. So we want to go over specifically right where you see our battery icon here. We want to press and hold and scroll down like that. So I'm going to do it one more time. So on from this side, not from like the center, but from this side, if we pull down, we get our control center. Is everybody able to do that on their phones? Okay. And then on your control center, you have a variety of different options. So the airplane is, well, first, let's go ahead and talk about the icons. So whether they are blue or gray kind of indicates whether they are on or off. So if the icons are blue, they are currently turned on and in use. If they are gray, they are off, and your mobile data icon, the green one, will constantly stay green unless it's off. Now you have a variety of different options here. So we have, and we'll go over this again as a refresher in the next course, but we have a variety of options. And one of our options is airplane mode. And that is indicated by the airplane icon. And that's used for kind of like a do not disturb. So it will shut off all of your connections. So whether it be Wi-Fi or data, and you won't have any notifications. You won't receive any calls. And it basically kind of turns off your phone without turning it off. And typically we do use that on the airplane. So when they ask us to turn off our phones, you can just put your phone on airplane mode and it should be good to go. Likewise, right next to the airplane, we do have the mobile data icon. And that is just letting you know that you are connected to whatever data source that you go through. So whether it be Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, that's just letting you know that they are receiving signal from the towers and you do have enough, access to data. Now, the one below the airplane is our Wi-Fi. And again, we will go over Wi-Fi in depth later on. But if you wanted to connect to Wi-Fi, or if your Wi-Fi is off, it will either be blue or gray. And if you're connected and there are options available, it will let you know by tapping and holding the Wi-Fi icon. So if you tap and hold that Wi-Fi icon, it'll bring up a list of available Wi-Fi networks in your area. And then right next to the Wi-Fi icon, we have this very strange looking icon, and that is the symbol for Bluetooth. And just a little bit of information about Bluetooth. It is used to wirelessly connect one thing to another. So if you wanted to connect your phone to a set of AirPods or headphones or your car, yes, you would be using the Bluetooth on your device. And again, similarly, like, there you go, like Wi-Fi, if you press and hold your Bluetooth icon, it will show you a list of different Bluetooth options available. You might have to refresh and scan, and we'll go over that later on. So after this box here, we see another box that has like a play symbol and a back and a forward symbol. That is always there as media. So if you were listening to a song on YouTube or Pandora or Spotify, it will, on your control center, you can always pull it down to pause or fast forward or go back if your screen was locked. So if you didn't have access to Pandora right away and your screen was already on at the lock mode like this, you could just pull down from the top and quickly hit next or later or pause or play. So right underneath this pause play box, we have a sun tab and we have like a sound microphone tab. So the sun tab is used for your screen brightness. So this is one of those instances where you would have to use the dragging motion on your phone, and you would press and drag this white part of the bar up or down to make your screen brightness brighter or dimmer. And if you press and hold this, actually I can show you on my phone. So quickly, so real quickly, I can lower my screen or brighten it like this. But if I press and hold, I'm left with a few options at the bottom. So we have dark mode, we have a blue light filter, and we have true tone. So this dark mode, your phone has a couple different options. So it can be white as like the background for your text, or it can be black for the background of your text. So it just kind of makes it so that your screen is either a white background with black lettering, or it's a black background with white lettering. It's really up to you, whatever you prefer. And then the blue light filter is a really great option for when you're using your phone at nighttime. So blue light filters kind of reduce the blue light that is said to keep you awake at night. So if you wanted to use your phone right before bed to read something, or your iPad. So I have the Kindle on my iPad, and if I want to read my book before bed, I always make sure that this is on blue light filter so that the blue light isn't keeping me awake. So similarly, we also have the microphone. And again, you're going to drag the white bar up or drag the white bar down to make your phone go on silent or high volume ringer. And then right below that, we have a calculator. So this is just a quick access to your calculator. You also have the calculator icon on your phone. But say you were in a rush and you just wanted to quickly pull down from your control center and calculate something real fast, it's just a convenience aspect. And that's the same with the camera icon right next to the calculator icon underneath the sound bar. So again, if you wanted to very quickly take a picture of something, you would be able to do so by pulling down from your control center. And this is the same thing. Next to calculator, there is a stopwatch or a clock. That will also show you clocks, your alarms, your timers, your stopwatches, and all of that good stuff. And then we have the flashlight, which honestly, if I'm going to be real, 90% of the time when I'm pulling down from my control center, this is what I'm going for. I'm going for the flashlight. This is the only way that I personally know how to get to my flashlight. If anybody else knows how to get to their flashlight, please let us know. This is the only way I personally, oh, Vicki, did you have, oh, Vicki, can you unmute yourself?
Let me get rid of all these crappy notifications first. Okay. It's on your home screen. If you pull down from the top, you'll see, can you see it? There's a camera on one side and the flashlights on the other.
Yeah,
It's always there. It's always there. In fact, if your screen is locked, you can still use those two functions.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and you know what? I just got a new phone and I just noticed this myself. That's great. Thank
I
you.
don't know about the ones that don't have facial recognition. It might be on the home screen. I don't know.
Right. Thank you so much, Vicki. So yes, and then right above that, we have this weird triangle and square bar. Art, did you have a question?
Well, I wanted to say that I find with myself and my wife that that feature of the flashlight,
Yeah.
because I have it on mine too. I don't know what I have, an XR or something, an RX, I don't know. But that can be dangerous.
Yes.
It's too easy to touch and it goes on. And then the next thing you know, your battery is really low.
Yeah. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we're turning the flashlight off right afterwards by hitting the icon again. So like tapping it once to turn it on and tapping it off once again, because yes, it will definitely drain your battery and you'll have nothing left.
However, on this screen,
Yes.
where it's down there, you actually have to touch it and feel it going on. It actually makes a little clicking sound
Oh,
when you do it,
nice.
if you
Yeah.
try it. So that's not so bad, but for some reason, my wife doesn't notice that. And I'm telling, I constantly say, hey, you know what? Your light's on. So just because it doesn't take long for the battery to go when that light is on.
Yeah, it drains pretty quickly, especially with the new phones. I just got a new iPhone and I noticed that the battery drains really quickly, actually, but it charges very fast too. So I think that there was kind of like a payoff there. Like, you know, I can charge my phone from dead to fully charged in 10 minutes, but I do get only like 3 hours of use out of my phone right now.
But the thing I found too is if you turn off the Bluetooth thing, you know,
Yeah,
you really need it, that'll save you battery time.
definitely. Thank you so much, Art. Thank you. Yes. Um, so again, yeah, so the triangle and the rectangle icon that's right above the flashlight and clock, that is for screen sharing. So if you had a smart TV or another smart device, you would be able to set up screen share using this icon. And basically what that means is that you can have a video on your phone, and then if you screen shared it to your living room TV, everyone in the living room would be able to see the video or the photo that's on your phone. And then this, right above it, we have this like lock symbol with a like kind of swirly thing around it. That's for your screen rotation. If you ever notice that your phone is suddenly flipping while you're laying down trying to like use it, it's because your screen rotation isn't set to lock. You can go ahead and lock it by tapping it and then untapping it when you want to unlock it again. And then right next to that, we have a moon button, and that moon button is do not disturb. So you won't receive phone calls or texts or anything like that. It won't notify you. You're still going to receive them, but they won't notify you until the time that you set to allow notifications to start once again. There is a stipulation to this do not disturb though. So if somebody has called you 3 times in a row, do not disturb sees that as an emergency and allows the third call to go through. So if somebody was calling you and calling you and calling you for an emergency situation, that will come through still after the third call. So that way you can still be alerted to emergencies, but you know, everyday basic notifications will be silent. All right, so does anybody have any questions about the control center? I know that we had lots of great discussion. Yes, Art?
Somehow mine, I don't know.
Yes.
You can see that I don't know if I did it or it got added. There's like the flashlight is there,
Yeah.
magnifying glass, and there are a couple other things. I don't know how they got there, but I wouldn't mind removing them. Do you know how to remove them from this page?
Unfortunately, from your control center, I don't believe that you can edit it.
Really?
I can go back and research a little bit more, and then next week, unless Vicky, did you have an answer to that?
I'm just looking it up, but I'm pretty sure it's in settings under control center. Yes, you
Oh,
can go to settings, search control center. I don't know what it's under. I was just.
okay, okay. I'll do that.
Okay. and
I
then-
must have done it because they're there, but that's not a good place for the flashlight because that is not very, that is the very, not sensitive at all. I mean, it's just a touch and it goes on. And you
Right.
don't feel it going on.
Well, thank you, Vicky. Yeah,
You can turn it
yeah.
off, just minus it out.
Oh, perfect. So it has like a little toggle.
Yep. No,
Nice.
it's a red minus sign.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
But it's
Yeah,
under, and then there's more that you can add to it. It's under control center. And
That's where I did it. Okay. Control settings, center settings. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Vicky. I love that we can answer and learn from each other. This is awesome. So does anybody else have any other questions before we move on from Control Center?
Well, the one thing that I love about the screen sharing,
Mhm.
which frankly, you know, I'm a senior, I didn't know how to do it. My son did it for me. We have a Roku on our TV, or if you have a smart TV with a Roku, you can do this, but you're able to get like, as an example, the Cleveland Orchestra isn't doing any live performances, but they are sending out to subscribers software where you could actually, where they are doing performances with just wearing masks and just string instruments, as an example. And you can play it on your phone if you want, which is a little kind of crazy. But my son figured out, and he is somewhat of a communications expert, how to program the this guy here, you know, on mine it says screen monitoring.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But he programmed that so that when I hit that button, it sends not only the picture, but the sound to the TV.
Yes. Yes. Everything.
And it's a great way to listen because the sound for the TV is, you know, significantly better than the sound on the phone. So it's a wonderful thing that I would love to learn more on doing, because I found now when I'm on watching TV, if I want anything that I see on my phone that would be better on TV, I just do it, and it's really enjoyable.
Definitely. I will take that and I will see if I can put screen sharing into one of our weeks, just kind of add it in. Is that something that all of you would be interested in? Yeah, I'm seeing lots of yeses. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will definitely add that into the curriculum and the lessons because that's definitely, I want to make sure that I'm answering all your questions and you're getting the kind of what you want out of this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. Oh, so yeah, I had a slide going over all of these different parts that I kind of forgot that I did. But yes, so again, screen brightness is the one with the sun, and then sound is the one with the microphone. And then we have battery and charging. So from the top of your screen, we can see right here, how much battery I have. It's also circled in this picture here, and it'll tell you, sometimes it tells you the percentage, or sometimes it just kind of has a bar showing you how much you have left. It depends on kind of the phone. But of course you want to make sure that that you're charging your phone every night, or at least every day, so that you can continue using your phone. There is also a power saving mode that sometimes will pop up on your screen if you have less than 20 or 15% battery. You can go ahead and click, yes or no, depending on what you want to do. So power save mode can limit some options, and it will definitely darken your screen. So if you're out somewhere really bright and you want to keep your screen brightness up even though your phone is dying, that is a circumstance that you would not want to put on your low battery mode. I'm trying to think if there is any other circumstances. Yeah, I think that it turns off some of the functions of your phone or limits them. So you want to be aware of that, but it is a great way to kind of conserve battery. Another good way to conserve battery, if you notice that you're running low and you don't have an outlet or charger, you can go ahead and turn off your phone, and that can kind of save a little bit of battery here and there. Does anybody have any questions about charging? There's lots of different chargers, and some chargers charge faster than others. So if you have a charger with a base like this, and it has a little lightning bolt on it, you'll know that this is a fast charger. And fast chargers charge significantly better and quicker. I really recommend having a fast charger, a rapid charger, at least one on hand. They typically come with your phone, but you can also get them at electronic stores. But they're great to have. All right, any other questions?
Are all chargers equal? I mean, you can find some really inexpensive chargers. I have an Apple phone.
Not all chargers are equal. That is a great question. So like I said, there are different types of chargers, and the chargers that come with your phone are typically the best chargers. Now those cheap chargers, they do have a place. Like in my car, I use that. I use like an extra one that I get at like Five Below or something. Because they're quick, and they're not quick, but they're still doing the same job. It just depends on how quick it does the job. Also, it depends on the quality. So this charger I've had for about 5 years, and it hasn't broken. It hasn't gotten, too gross, a little gross. But the ones that you get at Five Below, you'll start noticing at this part right here, it starts kind of fraying. And that can actually cause more damage to your phone by not charging correctly. So that's a great question. I hope I answered it.
Well, no, because I have my phone and computer are old, but my iPad isn't, and I find that it's taking longer to charge. And I recently switched it to the Apple charger, but it's still, I didn't know if it was the charger or if it was the tablet, the iPad. It's very slow charging.
Do you know how long it takes for you typically to charge it?
No, not really.
Yeah, so if it's charging slow, there might be something wrong with the actual adapter. So this part of your iPad is where obviously you're plugging in your charger.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little itty bitty piece of metal in that. And if something were wrong with it, like if it got really dusty, if it kind of moved, when you're putting your chargers in, sometimes it can damage that inside metal part. And that can lead to your inability to charge. Also, you said it wasn't old, right? The iPad?
No, it's about 3 years old, I think.
Yeah. So depending on the age of your iPad, it can slowly start losing its charge quicker, or suddenly it's like taking forever to charge, my recommendation for you would be to go to,
Check it out.
yeah, I would go to like Best Buy's Geek Squad, or does it have a data on it, or is it Wi-Fi only?
I don't know.
Did you buy it from your phone plan?
I'm on with my sons with their plan. I think it's unlimited. I think I'd go to the Apple store though, is probably where I would go. That's where it came from.
Yeah. So either the Apple Store or Geek Squad, and then if it's from your phone plan provider, I would definitely go there. Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was unusual or not.
It's not super unusual. I've noticed that these products kind of have a short lifespan.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of go out of date pretty quickly. And I think that might be in part to making you get the newer, nicest, better thing. But
Expensive.
yeah, they are expensive. They are expensive, and it shouldn't that quickly. So again, I would have it go get checked out, but I wouldn't be surprised at an iPod or an iPad or an iPhone that's 5 years old and suddenly it just doesn't work anymore. I've noticed that they have like shorter lifespans.
I've done quite a bit of research over the years with these things because of the way the batteries wear down. And there's probably 10 of the biggest changes you could make in your settings that would save you on battery power. You could Google it, actually. I mean, one is to set your email so that it doesn't constantly recover it for your screen. You could set it so that it fetches, I guess that's the term they use, stupid term in my head, but once every 15 minutes or so, or whenever you ask it to. But the other thing is that you can, the devices are expensive. And if the battery wears down, they can be replaced. They're not cheap to replace, but it's a lot cheap if you're comfortable with the device and if it's working well for you, other than the battery getting weak quickly. You can take it to the Apple store, and they will replace them. And every once in a while, they'll have specials on it.
They do?
Couldn't tell you why.
I've never heard.
No, I mean, it doesn't hurt. But if you call and tell them, this is what I have, if you can get through, usually pretty good.
Can I just ask a question or make a comment?
Yeah.
I was confused when you kept saying charger and then you pointed to the lightning hole on the bottom of the phone. I always refer to them as cord and electric adapter. There's two pieces. Okay. The cord, and then the thing that you plug the cord into that plugs into the wall, as two separate items. The thing that you plug into the wall, it's actually an AC adapter with a USB hole, comes in different voltages. And if you pick one up for $1 at the dollar store, you're going to it'll take forever to charge. So I think the newest ones, that Apple doesn't even give you one anymore when you buy it. They give you the good one, which I think is 20 volts. The old ones used to be 5. I do a lot of research on that too. And Anchor sells one that gets the best ratings. And that may have a huge difference in why it's taking forever to charge your device. Your cord is another weak point. If you buy cheap cords, again, the ones that come with Apple are the best, or I think they're MI something certified or something. I buy a lot of them from Amazon because I like 10-foot cords, because then you can actually charge the phone and use the phone, as opposed to having a tiny little cord.
Yeah, I've done that too with the iPad. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I wait till they're 3 for $1 and then I just buy a bunch of them and give them away. I mean, 3 for $10. But I would check to see what the voltage is on your little adapter. The other thing that I noticed, and a lot of people don't know, is to quit applications that you're not using. If
Yeah.
you have open applications, and a lot of people don't even know how to do that. Everything you ever opened is open and that's draining your battery.
Mhm.
So if, I don't know, Alex,
I
if
know
you
how to do it on my phone, I think, but I don't know how to do the iPad.
it's the same thing. You push the button twice fast and they all come up and you just flip them away.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know I don't have apps and stuff because I don't understand them.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you have apps. I mean, if you check your email,
Twice.
that's an app. If you if you read a book, that's an app. Any of those little pictures are an app. And if you've never closed them, then they're just sucking juice out of the device.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, that is very
Ah,
so
okay.
very, very quickly. And I have a whole slide on background running apps, but really quickly, if I were to go to my home screen and I were to lift up, that's my paper, and I was to swipe up, you would see all of these different apps that I have running in the background of
That's
my
what I just did. Yeah.
yeah. And then to get rid of those, you would just kind of swipe
Swipe
them.
up.
Yeah, swipe up or swipe left or swipe away. Perfect.
Maybe
Okay.
that's my problem.
Yeah. Yes, that might
It'll,
be.
it'll charge faster too if you don't have those apps open. You get rid of those apps.
Right.
So these are apps or these are just web pages that I have visited?
Those are apps, and your web pages will be are kind of a similar situation.
Because
so,
I,
go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm looking here. I mean, like I have my camera here on this and my email, and then here's there's a Zoom that I used maybe, I don't know how many months ago with a family in January with the family. So that's still on here because I couldn't get it on my computer. But those are considered apps.
Yes.
There's a lot I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you had a question or a question about your Google web pages. Now, real quickly, if I was at Google here, you'll see at the very bottom of my screen right here that it says 4. Now, if I click that 4, it's going to show me that I have 4 web pages open, and very similarly, I would be able to click that little X right there and they will go away. And that's very similar to your background running apps, but you would have to actually go to the Google thing here. And then you could also click right here. It says close all tabs. So it's a very similar situation.
Alex, the same thing happens on Safari. If you're on, yeah, and I'm sure you know, but if you use Safari, this little thing down here, whatever, I don't know, it's like 2 pages together. If you touch that and you've never closed them, you will see every page you ever opened on the internet.
Right.
And again, with the X's, you can close them all out. I don't think it gives you a choice to do them all at once. I know I've had to do it for like an hour.
Yeah, unfortunately with Safari, I don't think that you can close all at once. You're going to have to swipe them individually, and that took me.
So is that also what uses up battery life? Those pages open?
Yes.
Like when
Yeah.
Well, it uses RAM. It uses RAM, and then that slows everything down because
RAM
Right.
is what?
there's no room
Memory?
left.
Yeah, it's your memory because it's constantly refreshing that page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that? You said at the bottom, you see the X.
Yes.
Okay, so on my phone may be a little older than yours. So I see the X with the cross and it has a little box with numbers in it.
So are we on Google right now, or are we on Safari?
We're on Google.
Okay. Yeah. So if we're on Google, let me go ahead. You'll have a couple different options here. So
Okay,
this plus will be a new tab. This box with the number is the number of tabs that you have open.
okay,
And then this back and forth is very similar to on the computer. When you click back, it will take you back to the previous page, or forward if you wanted to go back forward.
okay.
And then here we have 3 dots, and if we click that, we
Yeah,
have a bunch of different options. So we have reload the page, we have new tab again, new incognito tab, which basically an incognito tab is a web page that doesn't use, they're not going to collect your cookies. They're not going to collect your information and show that you have been to that website in the past and your history.
okay,
And then we have bookmarks. So if you wanted to bookmark a specific website and go back to it, you'll have a bookmark here. And then you have history, which is, again, it goes through every single thing that you've Googled and every website that you've ever clicked. And then we have downloads and settings. Did you have a specific question about any of these?
I thought you said in order to get rid of them, similar to when you flick, I don't see,
Okay, yes. So right here, let's just add in a whole bunch real fast. Okay, now I have 7.
okay,
When I click this, I can either, there's like a little X right here.
oh, okay, now I have it, okay. I didn't see
Okay,
it
perfect.
before, thank you.
Mhm. Okay, any other questions before I go over next week's agenda?
I have one quick question, and it may not be the right time, maybe you were gonna discuss it later. But when I try to do a screenshot, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Is there a particular key sequence that I'm not doing correctly?
Yes. Okay, so what kind of phone do you have? Can you show me on your screen real fast?
I mean, I have an Apple, but it's the old, it might be the older.
Okay, yeah, does it have a button? Does it have like a physical home button?
A home button, yes, I have the home button.
Yeah, does it look like this button up top?
Yes,
Perfect. So for yours, you're going to click, I believe it is the home button and the power button at the same time.
okay, it's the home and power, because I thought I read the home and volume key, so that,
Yeah,
okay.
it might be the home and volume as well. I believe that it's a home and power,
Okay.
but I do, on my phone personally, my screenshot is the power button and the up volume key. So if that doesn't work, you can always try the home button and the up volume key at the same time. If I push them at the same time, it'll take a screenshot.
Because I keep doing different things and I'm not sure which one is working. I'll keep trying. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to know if anybody knows, or is like the Apple, since I need a new phone, about these refurbished ones. Does
Yeah.
anybody have any advice on it? I don't quite know which one to get.
I do a lot of research on that. You can get a brand new Apple. Do you have Verizon or AT&T?
Yeah,
If you have either one of those, you can go to, you can do it online. Walmart, the store.
I'd
is
love to
selling-
talk to you more about it elsewhere. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure. Who
Okay,
are,
how would I get her? How do I get you my information?
why don't I just give you my phone number and you call me when we're done here?
Okay,
Yeah, so you can send a direct message.
One of these little things?
Yeah, it'll be a direct message. You can send it directly to her by clicking her name, so that not everybody has your personal information in this Zoom meeting.
Yeah, that'd be great. You sound
You get
like
it?
I'm not good at investigating.
Harriet, did you get a chat from me? Did you get a message?
I didn't get anything yet.
Hmm.
Will it come on the computer?
Yeah. I don't know where they show up, but I
Oh,
sent.
here it is. Here it is. That's another thing, trying to figure out what these things are on the Zoom. Okay, yes, I got you, Vicki.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And if anybody needs a Zoom refresher on our YouTube, we have Zoom Basics where I kind of go over how to send a direct message, what all the buttons do, how to do this, how to do that. So if you ever need a refresher, you can always go ahead and go to our YouTube channel. Real quick, I just wanted to go over the agenda for next week so you guys kind of have an idea of what to expect. So we will be talking a little bit more about Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi safety. We'll talk about Bluetooth. We'll talk about basic apps. And what I mean by basic is pre-downloaded apps. So your phone kind of comes with apps already on it. So we're going to talk about maps, the calculator, the alarm, notes, gallery, calendar, and deleting apps. And then we're going to quickly go over email. So we're going to very briefly and very basically go over how to send and receive an email. And then we will be creating a Gmail account so you guys can see how to create an account. My hopes is that once we learn how to create one account and we go to another site, we can continue using those skills to create multiple accounts, any type of account that you would like. Yeah, okay, great. Any questions about next week's agenda?
Sounds good.
Great. It was lovely having you all, and I will see you next week. If anybody has any questions, I'll stick around for the last few minutes. Other than that, you're free to go, and I absolutely enjoyed this experience. It was great meeting you all, and I will see you next week.